Hey, what's up, America? This is Amazon Jude coming to you from Wyoming in my little cave. We got our first snowstorm yesterday, and you'd think the world fell apart for people who had moved here from other states. 1 inch of snow, and you have 20 car wrecks from these Californians and moving in thinking that they're going to come to Wyoming and change our laws and make it California, Wyoming. I say to you, if you don't like our laws in Wyoming, you're welcome to go home. We had some great victories today, and the media will not say a word about it. Wyoming and Montana, we are cheering. We are cheering on administrative Scott Pruitt's killing of the Obama carbon rules and on our coal-fired plants. That's going to put a lot of boys back to work, and these companies that work our boys won't be subject to buying all this crap about saving carbon fuels and trying to figure out what to do with it next and la 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 la. Billions of dollars in these carbon recapture things. I'm glad. I couldn't be more proud. In fact, my first Twitter today was to Administrator Scott Pruitt, Secretary Scott Pruitt, congratulating him. And he's going to take a lot of crap over it, but you know what? I don't care. I remember when the Sierra Club was up here and we had a meeting, and of course there was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 meetings around the state about shutting down our coal plants, that they look like shit, or coal mines, I'm sorry, and this carbon credit crap. This is a step in the right direction, and that's all I can say on that, except for the fact is we had the Sierra Club and the Wildlands Project, and just about every environmentalist was bussed in by the hundreds to get there early at our event center to make sure that they got to speak long before any of us citizens that actually live in Wyoming. And we had called for a coal moratorium at the time, and we were shot down by the Sierra Club, and they keep us tied up in lawsuits most of the time, which I am so glad that President Trump got Gorsuch on the Supreme Court, and he's going to get to put in another 320 judges, and we're going to change things. I don't know. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of looking at these wind towers and these solar panels. Wind towers are killing our eagles and our birds of prey, our bats. And also they make people sick. Anybody who has a house even remotely close to these wind towers suffer headaches, nausea, heart disruptancies, because they send out these signals, and it screws up the birds, it screws up the humans, and they produce absolutely squat compared to a ton of coal. And Wyoming used to provide almost 43% of the nation's coal for our power plants, for our electricity generation. Even these stupid cars by Tesla require plug-in electricity that is what? Created by coal. This was a boondoggle, and Wyoming was stupid enough to allow this company to come in and build, supposedly going to have 1,000 of them by the time it's done, of these bird blenders on our chokecherry Madre line, pretty close to Green River or Rock Springs, somewhere down in there. But they produce nothing. They cannot hold power that they've generated, even when the electric lines, they don't have a storage facility for the power that they're generating. Okay, so if they're not turning, they're not earning. And a wind tower is like 19 cents per kilowatt hour. Coal is like 6. And Wyoming is built on top of one of the largest coal reserves. There's enough under Wyoming to satisfy America for the next 100 years, not to mention what's in Pennsylvania, not to mention what's in Kentucky, not to mention we have a large coal suppository. We have great oil underneath of us. Oklahoma and Texas have enough to last oil and gas industry for the next 200 years. So why are we screwing with these bird blenders? I hope the subsidies fall out from underneath these sons of bitches. And if they want to go ahead with their wind power and their solar power, let them pay for it. I'm sick of them sucking our subsidies for it. Second, today was also a big, big day. President Trump sent over his 70-point immigration demand, and they are priceless. Democrats are shitting all over themselves. They even brought in their crook that's on trial from up in New York back to Washington so they could brainstorm behind closed doors. There was no Senate hearings, no Senate floor discussions, no hearings in judiciary, nothing. Everybody's quiet. We did have the truckers go up to Washington. It was, I think they called themselves ELD or Me. And they talked to Senator Bobbin out of Texas. I wanted them to really be able to visit with our new Federal Motor Carriers Association, Elaine Choi, Ray Martinez, which is the FMAC, and another guy, because they're having a big deal with the American Trucking Association in October 23rd. And I don't want Elaine and Ray and those guys to get boondoggled by this American Trucking Association. They do not support the small truckers. They only support the big, huge truckers. And if you ever get a minute, I want you to look up the Federal Motor Carriers Association report from 2014 and read it. It's only about 36 pages, and it's a flippin' joke. There's more holes in that than a piece of Swiss cheese that you buy at your deli. They did none of the studies that they were supposed to do. They pulled numbers out of their ass about wrecks and stuff. They can't prove that these ELDs, electronic logs, in your trucks help with anything other than making the manufacturers rich, the lobbyists rich, and of course the congressmen who accepted the money from these guys rich. Another big, huge deal. Okay, HR 3282 is still laying in, it passed the House, or passed the Senate, or passed the House, and it's waiting to be debated on the floor. Well, Democrats are slow walking this one too, because this would give even the smaller truckers time to get the ELDs on their trucks and try to make sure that they work. Most times you're buying these junk units out of China that keep your truck tied up in service forever because the fuckers just don't work. Most of your highway patrol have no clue even how to check those things other than look at your phone for your log time. Drivers are complaining all over the place going, look, I don't sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is causing a lot of the truckers a lot of distress because now they're pushed for time limits to get things done, even though none of this report takes into account anything that has to do with snowstorms, accidents, traffic jams, flat tires, any of that. And if you run out of time, you better park that truck. And if you're in a no parking zone, what do? You end up with a ticket from the highway patrol for being in a no parking zone. The whole fucking thing is screwed up. Agriculture trucks are already asking for waivers. We had to waiver a lot of trucks to take fuel down to hurricane hit areas. That was another big issue. I mean, if we're out now, waivers for agriculture and for emergency situations, that tells you right there the bill is no good. It was a midnight Obama rule that passed under the cover of night, and Democrats supported it. Of course they did. I wonder how many of them got kickbacks from these ELD manufacturers. You can bet that goes into the millions. Another good one today. Trump has proposed a great healthcare change up. This is too priceless. It goes around Obamacare, and it's legal. I mean, isn't that what they do? If it's illegal, they don't they find a way to make it look legal. Well, this is actually legal. So you defund all of these Obamacare sign-up enrolls, and you allow the young guys, young kids that are out there in the workforce to buy catastrophic insurance, and then you allow us to buy across state lines, and then we can all group together and get a better price with insurance companies that are willing to give us the insurance coverage that we want and not the shit we don't want. It's brilliant. Nancy and Pelosi's check and Chuck Schumer's heads are exploding right now over this. Tax reform. Oh, this is good stuff. Good stuff. There's a outfit that's out there right now, and they're bashing Trump, and they're called Tax Freedom America or some shit, but they're a front group. I want you to know this. Tax Freedom. Yeah, they're a front group for the Democrat Party. What they do is they lobby Congress. In fact, I have videos of these guys going into Senator Warren's office with 219 new ways to screw the American people on tax reform. What the Democrats are afraid of is they live in all of these Democrat cities along the coastlines like Maine, California, edges of Texas, edges of Florida, New Hampshire, New York, and their local guys have taxed them beyond oblivion. I mean, we're not talking like 12% mill. We're talking like 30% mill. Well, these pricks get to deduct that off their tax returns. So essentially, they're not even paying their local taxes. And then they get a deduction with the federal government. That's what their big bitch is they might actually have to pay their fair share. And this new tax reform with Trump is saying, nope, we're all on the same level playing field, man. If you were taxed out of existence in your local town, you know, or Manhattan and New York and, you know, San Bernardino and, you know, California and Florida, you need to talk to your local shitheads. They overtaxed you, you allowed it. You're no longer going to be able to deduct that. You're going to pay your fair share. If you want to live in these shitholes, that's up to you. You can pay their taxes, or you can vote them out and get your taxes down. So don't let the media fool you. The new tax rate that President Trump, excuse me, can't even believe I said that pimp's name. Like in Wyoming, we don't have state tax, and we keep an eye on our boys. And the minute they try to raise something, we're raising hell. Because you know what? The power is at the voting box. And we get to the voting box and we vote their ass out. You want to vote? You want to raise our taxes on property? There's only 500,000 of us. You know, maybe you have a spending problem, and we bash them with this. And they're so worried about losing votes that they know they better not try that shit up here. You guys need to make your voices known. Get to the voting boxes, man. Because that's what Democrats do. They go to the voting boxes and they vote once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That's why they're all pissed off that Trump's got this voting panel that's researching all this. Well, we know Project Veritas has proven there was voter fraud. Hell, they found what? Two vans full of Hillary Clinton ballots. Project Veritas got the head of the voting for Hillary to admit that they bust these pricks in all over the country. Come on, we know that. And that's why some of these states are fighting it. Notice it's not the Republican states. It's just these Democrat states like California and Massachusetts and Vermont, you know, Elizabeth Warren's little country. And, man, she's a fucking nut. And so is Bernie Sanders. And so is a lot of these other Democrats. You could write their accomplishments on a cocktail weenie napkin and still have your drink in place. So what do we need them for? A bunch of these 90-year-old bats who have never done anything for the 40 years they've been in Congress? We have the perfect opportunity this year. There are 435 representative seats up for re-election. So I would advise you, I don't care who you are, what your beliefs are, pro-gun, no-gun, whatever. Run against these guys. Let's give them some competition. We don't need a new president. We got one of those. We've got a real president. Now we need a new Congress. And let's move on. They brought a woman in. Oh, here's another front group. Oh, you got to be aware of this. They're called Crew. And that's citizens. Again, or for ethics, okay? The guy that runs this is Noah Bookbinder. And he was Senator Leahy's law clerk for about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years. And you look them up, Crew, citizens for, oh gosh, how, you know, they give you all these alphabet names and then expect you to remember them all. Reform and ethics is kind of thing. But anyway, this Noah Bookbinder, he worked for Senator Leahy, which is a Democrat, which is probably one of the most corrupt politicians in Washington, along with many, 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 many others. But anyway, he worked for him. So he goes to Washington and he sets up this fake nonprofit, legal dream team outfit. And what they do is they attack the Republicans. And they do it in such a way that makes them look like they're nonpartisan. They're not. If you look through their website and find out who some of their board members are and things like that, it won't take you but about 5 minutes to figure out it's another front group for the Democrats. Their tentacles are in everything. You're talking 50 years of corruption here. And the Democrats are losing their mind because the media can't cover this shit up anymore. That's why they're starting to censor the internet. That's why they're pulling monetary for, you know, people out there that actually charge to watch their videos. Me, I'm a freebie. I don't care. It's not about the money for me. It's about my country. And anyway, Senator Leahy has his bookbinder running this non-profit legal hit squad that keep picking on Trump and his team for flying on Air Force One and going anywhere. Well, these idiots know that the president and the vice president have to be on certifiable anti-attack airplanes. So I don't care if Pence flies to Florida or if he flies to the John. He's got to have a Secret Service. So does Trump, and so do the kids. We protected Obama pimp and his wife, his mother-in-law, evidently Errol Smith too. I mean, Obama used Air Force One like it was a pimp mobile for the music industry. And so he could be close. He always wanted to be a rock star. He's just a pimp from Chicago. But he used our tax dollars. And not a word out of Crew. Not a word out of this other little outfit, too. They never attack the Democrats. But, man, they're like dogs with a bone when it comes to Republicans for no reason. Just to be assholes. Just to, you know, get a little blurb on Twitter or something. But the last thing I wanted to bring up, and I think this is really, really, really important, is that if you notice, when you're not watching all this Main Street bullshit, and you start delving into some really intelligent conversation, it's hard to find intelligence on Twitter. Don't even bother on Facebook. It's just like reading your local newspaper full of garbage. Even my local paper was bashing our president. Well, of course, we call it the Casper Red Tribune because they like to claim they're Republicans, but it's all Democrats that are running that and liberal progressives. You always see the keywords. consensus, economic development, complete streets, inclusion. You see any of those words in any article, you may as well turn the son of a bitch off, because it's a liberal, progressive bullshit piece of fiction that is being pulled out of someone's ass to make you think that you actually are in the know. It's thanks to people like me, Mark Dice, Alex Jones, Sean Hannity, Bill Hill, Rush Limbaugh, king of finding the truth, Paul Watson. There are millions of us. So it's going to take them time to shut us all down. And all you can do is keep popping up under a different name, because the internet is loose. And until we get things lined out to where they can no longer block us and break up the monopoly of that internet, break up of our internet into actual people that give a shit about reality and not supporting these stupid liberal progressive shit stains on CNN, MSNBC, ABC. Don't even listen to them. They're garbage. They have no clue what they're talking about. They're a bunch of pundits sitting up there giving you opinion pieces, trying to tell you what to think. If you want to know what to think, research it. You'll come to your own conclusion. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to say is I love the fact that our world leaders are now seeing a leader. And they know Trump means business. And they're starting to slowly but surely come out against, let me slap my tinfoil hat on real quick, against the New World Order. Remember Papa Bush? This is a new world order. Baby Bush. A new world order. Obama. A new world order. Fuck you. If I wanted to be a world citizen, I would live in the world. I'm a United States citizen. I'm a gun-toting, biker, swearing, cussing, drinking, smoking, God-fearing, loving American woman. And I don't want no more refugees. I don't want no more Mexicans. I want that wall built. And I want my Congress to do their goddamn job or get the fuck off the bus. So, sorry. I'll have to go explicit content in this somewhere for the end of it. But with that, I wanted to say we had some really good victories today. Trump, he's got his feet under him. And the more he learns, the more dangerous he is to the Democrats. And, man, that's going to be a long, drawn-out death for them sons of bitches, because their shit's flying off the shelves. Washington is starting to drain itself. Corker, he's draining himself. You know what he was doing? In 2008, I should stop this because it's too long. But in 2008, him and Senator Warner, who wants to run for president in 2020, yeah, that's going to work out real well for you now, buddy boy. They made millions. Excuse me. They made millions, like Mark Cuban did in the 2008 housing bubble. Okay, Cuban did the .com bubble. Well, these guys made millions on the housing bubble of 2008 with insider trading. It's all over the papers. If you go back and look, you can find the articles. They're being scrubbed slowly off the net, but some of us pros that know how to reword things enough to pull up an article, we can still find these. So you're not losing much with losing Corker, other than the fact that he really wanted to be Secretary of State under Donald Trump, and Don said, go pound sand, dude. You got more fucking shit on you than, even Manafort ever had, and they can't find nothing on him. So, and Senator Warner, you're done. Blumenthal, you're done. Feinstein, you're done. Warren, You're done. Elizabeth, you're gone. Sanders, good luck, dude. If you can find 90,000 retards to vote for your silly ass, then that's 90,000 people that probably should have been aborted because they just don't get it. And you know what? Where's all the pussy hats? I haven't seen them floating around. Today is Columbus Day, and you know, Mexico has the most Columbus statues in the entire world because they understand history. Unlike these kids today that haven't been taught squat in school, except for Common Core, liberal bullshit. Parents, you're spending $90,000 to brainwash your own kid when you send them to college. You may as well just put them out there in the yard and plant flowers around them because that's how intelligent and that's how much understanding they have of the freedoms of this country. I am so glad for homeschoolers. I am so glad for charter schools. And Nancy DeVos, you're doing a great job. Don't let these sons of bitches get in your way. You just keep plugging away like Trump, and you keep plugging away like Secretary Tillerson, like Mattis, like Pruitt, like Mnuchin. All you guys are priceless. And Sarah, I love you. You put Jim Acosta in his place once again. And whoever did your makeup, they did a great job. Because you have the biggest, brownest, chocolate brown eyes I've ever seen for a woman. And we love you, Kellyanne Conley. And we love you, even Sean Spicer. You know, we do miss your kindergarten deal. That was funny. That's been scrubbed from the internet, except for the one, you know, that Don Lemonhead, CNN's white nigger, brings up. And he butchered that. But the original was just absolutely great. So, with that, this is Amazon Jude signing off. And leave me comments in the bottom. I know, I probably shouldn't have said nigger, but they call me a cracker all the time on the internet. And frankly, I'm sick of names. So I just thought, well, what if I used one word that they absolutely hate?